Hello and welcome back to somebody on the rest of the way and to another edition of AEW Collision Out of 10. And yeah, big show today. There's a lot of big matches on there, including Jet Speed taking on the Death Riders, John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. And we found out who ZSJ's Forbidden Door challenger would be, possibly Nigel McGuinness. But the show kicked off with Daddy Magic on commentary, of course newly re-signed, great to hear. And Timeless Tony Storm started off under a spotlight. She delivered a monologue about Athena, which ends with, "If you're a goddess, I suppose I must pray. I hope you'll be leaving London with my arse on your face." Athena and Billy Starks attack, and then the stand over the women's champ. The ROH women's champ fires back with a grayscale and sexual innuendo. She would be nothing. You want to pray that I don't expose you for the fraud you are, etc, etc. That was a good little comeback, really enjoy it. And then Shirakawa's music hit, Storm recovers and hit Starks with a suplex. The thing that's quite in between and calling for security and escaping with them as Tony covers Mean's face and kisses. Yeah, an interesting and fun segment. Before we got John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta taking on Jet Speed and defeating them. This was a wild back and forth. Moxley used to spend a lot of time double teaming Knight and later isolating Speedball, but everything Jet Speed fought back with. Speedball lit up Yuta with strikes and dives, with Knight brought the power and slams. All four guys ended up brawling and trading big shots, but the finish came when Knight hit Yuta with a UFA splash, but Shafir graded the ref. Moxley laid out Speedball on the floor. Knight got distracted and Yuta hit a low blow for the win. And yeah, this was a really good match to kick us off. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think Jet Speed really laying out how good they can be. We then got an awesome vignette of the Outrunners getting their mojo back together before Ricochet and Ace Austin went at it, with Austin getting the edge early by shoving Ricochet around, landing kicks and even dropping him outside the ring. Ricochet fired back with some nasty strikes, a brainbuster and his trademark shooting style press, but Austin kept kicking out of all the roll-ups. Things got messy once Gates Wagner showed up. Ricochet used the distraction to survive Austin's flurry and breaks his eyes, and now the Spirit comes to seal the win. After the bell, Khan made sure the beatdown wasn't over. Yeah, this gets 7 out of 10 for me. Another really good match. Ricochet getting the win. Great to see Ace Austin there in AEW. I think he'll add lots of promotion, and Khan as well in there. So yeah, prolonging that storyline. The Hurt Syndicate were then interviewed about the final of the tag team tournament. MVP puts over both teams, and Lars offer questions stemming MJF's brief membership and agree everything's good between them. Interesting. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly then defeated Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. This one was chaos all the way through. Paragon started hot with quick tags and double teams, keeping Blake and Lee on the defensive. Blake and Lee fought back with some slick teammates, including a big tope from Blake and a moonsault from Lee, but KO and Strong kept shutting him down with strikes, submissions and brutal double team offense. The pace never slowed, everyone was flying in and out, trading shots and counters. In the end, Strong wrecked shot with backbreakers and a nasty knee shot before Paragon hit their high-low combo on Blake, giving KOR the win. Yeah, 6 out of 10. It's not a show-stealing match, but I thought it was pretty decent enough and did the job. Ishii and Hologram came out to celebrate with Cool Carl. Roddy doesn't stick around with the fun, further out hinting tension. Before we cut backstage where Bandido is laid out with FTR and Stokely halfway, the top guys look to be in big trouble when his tag partner shows up. Brody King, Dax and Cash brawl their way to the ring, where King is able to get the upper hand when Hathaway returns to blind him with the powder. So FTR can hit Shatter Machine. Big stake where Bandido stole the mark as the heel celebrate. Before Skyfly and Top Flight with Christopher Daniels often Don Callis any match he wants. They then go to train as Chris Statlander then defeated Julia Hart, Penelope Ford and Anna Jay in a £100,000 four-way match. This was wild right from the start, with no really rules except for the first pin win. Everyone brawled early, but Jay and Stat squared off before Hart and Ford jumped back in the ring. Hart showed things up with a ring walk, Hurricane Rana. Ford hit some slick battle team setups, and Jay kept throwing big kicks in there. Stat was the powerhouse, hitting a double suplex and tossing people around every chance she got. The action was non-stop. Poison Rana's moonsaults and backbreakers flying everywhere until Stat finally caught Hart in a scissor choke and forced the tap. That sealed the win, and oddly enough scored her £100,000. Yeah, I said it before, I don't really like these matches where we can't keep doing these money giveaways, but for what it wasn't terrible, I don't suppose. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And afterwards we got the trial of madness beating down Stat. Queen Alanata showed up to fight them, as does Meadow, but Skyblade gets in it too. They're all followed by Bane, but before the heels got too much advantage, Harley Cameron's back wearing a face shield to protect her nose and has some kind of chain on a stick in her hand. She makes a beeline for Bane, joining with her and Ford, and the heels stand together as Cameron holds the ring. Head Jacero, Carl Fletcher and Lance Archer cut promo on Skyflight saying they'll see them in Glasgow. Still not sure if this is a singles tag or trios, but we'll find out. Backstage, Renee's trying to talk to the winner of the women's four-way when Harley jumps in her arms, saying how inspired she was as Stats talks of winning and inspiring. She also gave her suggestions for the money, and I'm pretty sure she's referring to the items that she carries on her all the time. Moxie used to show out, leading to a funny moment of Cameron being scared by Moxie, and they congratulate that. Yeah, that's quite a nice moment. Before Juice Robinson defeated Brian Keith. Keith and Robinson had some leftover drama for obviously the tournament, and it turned into a grind. Keith zeroed in on Robinson's leg early, smashing it around the post and locking in a nasty crab to keep him grounded. Robinson fought back with elbows and a spine buster. The bad knee slowed him down. Things broke down when Big Bill and Austin Gunn got into it, but inside the ropes, Robinson muscled through the pain, hit a big slam and scored a clean win on pin. I think a much needed win for Joe Robinson, obviously coming back, building up momentum, and I thought, yeah, it worked pretty well. Renee Burkett's back with Anthony Bones and is tired of hearing of Max Caster and doesn't understand why his old tag partner's going to Scotland, and he isn't, especially after he's been on such a great rep for the company. He ends up storming off. I can kind of understand his frustration, to be fair, as Nigel McGuinness then defeated Daniel Garcia, H. Serra and Lee Moriarty in a four-way technical spectacular for a shot at the IWGP Championship at Forbidden Door. This four-way felt like two matches running side by side. McGuinness and Moriarty, technical nasty, lots of limb work, while Garcia and H. Serra traded chops, submissions and lead counters. At all times, all four men had each other tied up in a chain of holds, waiting until someone broke it. The action was wild. McGuinness hit a Tower of London, Garcia locked in a Dragon Tamer, and H. Serra twisted people up with brutal head scissors. In the end, it came down to submissions again, with McGuinness retching Moriarty into the London dungeon and finally forcing the tap. That earns the win for the shot at ZSJ. Renee was in the ring to catch up with him, and yeah, he puts over the competitors, especially Garcia, and asks Danny to be in his corner at Forbidden Door, and he accepts, which is going to be great. But yeah, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. So pleased that Nigel McGuinness got the win. What an incredible match that's going to be. Two Brits at the O2, two technical wrestlers, and so great to see Ed J. So yeah, great stuff. 7 out of 10. Overall, AEW Collision this week gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought, this was really good stuff. I thought quite a lot of the action we got, including Death Riders at the start, and then the Nigel McGuinness main event. I thought, on the whole, it was a really strong show and gets a 7 out of 10 from me.
That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.